Hey fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor. So here's today's question. From YouTube, from Luis Gonçalves. Hey Pac, with The Witcher TV show being a big hit and Sonic making his way to the big screen, have we reached a new era of video game TV shows and films? How do gaming companies license their IP for these projects and what kind of benefits do they receive? Are there royalties based on performance or flat fees? Is there any data that suggests these products help video game sales? All right, first of all, The Witcher is a book series. And while I believe that the games popularized the intellectual property and made it a pop culture phenomenon, I would say that the TV show wouldn't have been made but for the books. So the game, yes, it's story driven, but the books are much more immersive. And I think the TV show is following the book series. And I think the reason that they can do a TV series is each season can be one of the books. And I think there's like 8 or 10 books. So yes, it's a game, but it's adapted from the book medium. Sonic is a game only, and Sonic is far from the only video game that's turned into a movie. We actually had a Super Mario Brothers movie with Bob Hoskins. Look that one up. We had a Mortal Kombat movie. We had a Final Fantasy movie. We've had obviously a ton of Resident Evil movies and Lara Croft movies. The video game guys do a flat license. They tend to get a small amount and they tend to have upside if the movies are phenomenally successful. I would say of all the game movies ever made, the only one that's ever made any real money is Resident Evil. And the second that probably has made a little bit of money is Lara Croft. And the reason I say that is there's been a lot of Resident Evil movies, I think 7 or something like that. And they've all done pretty well. Lara Croft, there's been about the same number, but they've been 10 years apart. And if Lara Croft was that good, they'd be more frequent. So if the movie studios were making enough money and the video game publishers were making enough money, they'd be pushing to do it. They're just not that popular. I think the IP doesn't work as well for movies because movies are a self-contained story. They have to be 2 hours. The video games tend to actually be more immersive and bigger. Try making a movie out of Grand Theft Auto, and you can't. I mean, they will. Eventually they will. But that's a 200-hour story. It's not a 2-hour story. So, that's, I think, the problem with Max Payne. It was like too tight. That was the problem with Assassin's Creed. They spent like 1 minute explaining the Animus. And if you never played the game, you had no idea what they were doing. It's like, oh, this guy's plugged in and now he's an assassin. You didn't understand it. I like the movie because I played the game all the way through and I understood the whole thing. But I was with people who did not know what was going on. They were just completely baffled by it. So I think it's really hard. And so the answer is, I don't think you're going to see a lot more of these. As far as whether they help video game sales, they tend to be really late in the process. So you get the movie-based game years after Assassin's Creed is popular. Now, will an Assassin's Creed movie help the next Assassin's Creed game? Not any more than a Star Wars movie helps a Star Wars game. So yes, that it's branding and people are aware of it, but it's not going to drive sales unless it's an annual franchise. And the truth is, it supports the franchise. So, you saw Warner Brothers, who makes Batman movies and Batman games. They were making Batman games that weren't tied to movies. They had nothing to do with the plot, and they came in years if there wasn't a movie. They were keeping the brand alive. And you see Marvel with Spider-Man doing Spider-Man games. There might be a movie that year, there might not be. It's branding, and they're trying to keep the brand alive. So I think that the branded IP that isn't another medium works really well for both the movie and the game. But the game first IP is probably not going to do that much for a movie because it takes years before they figure out the game was good and they can get the movie produced and get the movie out. So don't think that you're going to see a lot more than we've seen in the past. Thank you, fellow babies, for watching the Pachter Factor. But if you're watching on YouTube, what the hell is wrong with you? You can either be a SIFTD patron on Patreon for $2 a month, or you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account, which is really easy. And let's be real, if you have YouTube, you have an Amazon Prime account. So follow the instructions below and link it. Either way, we're gonna get $2. One's gonna cost you, one's gonna cost Twitch. Either way, you get the content real time when it's released daily.